program ending child marriage and empowerment of adolescents in the district of Salem. The work involves coordinating various government line departments towards empowering adolescents and moves towards reducing child marriage through capacitating government departments, civil society organizations, and adolescent platforms. He worked as state advocacy campaigner for Samakalvi Iyakkam from 2015 to 2019. His role involves coordinating state-level campaign on education and protection rights of children through field-based researches, documentation, organizing press meets and press releases, and heading lobbying with various departments of government for policy formulation. He worked as project advisor from mentor in Salem People Trust from 2007 to 2013. His role was aimed to support children of bonded laborers in agricultural sector and Dalit and tribal children in rural Salem, supporting in project planning, implementation and evaluation of social, educational and health projects along with people-based organizations. He was the assistant director in Don Bosco Anbu Social Service Society Salem from 2001 to 2006. He was managing recruitment and supervision of 60 staff and improved staff performance through orientation, training, professional development and management coaching. He was educational consultant cum trainer from 1997 to 2000 for deprived children, child laborers. And he has 15 years of experience in project and staff management and development sector with a background of staff recruitment and training along with administration, financial management, strategic planning, training and monitoring to civil society organizations. His external evaluations and manuals include training manual for women workers on their rights, laws and policies, ensuring their protection and enhancement of workmanship, prepared on behalf of CARE 2020. External evaluation of 8 action project on caring and safe environment for young migrants at work sites. Evaluation of comprehensive child rights project, Orcott Lutheran Church, school project of Dawn Mission. Field investigator for Panchayat Devolution Index study for the state of Tamil Nadu done for the Ministry of Panchayat Raj through Tata Institute of Social Sciences. And consultancy assignment for preparation of National Training Manual for Women's Right to Land project in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh for Action Aid India Country Office. And his professional affiliations include UNICEF, Samakalvi Iyakkam, Tamil Nadu, Child Relief and You, CRI, Loyola Institute of Social Sciences Training and Research, Don Bosco Group of Educational and Social Institutions, Bar Council of Tamil Nadu, Madras High Court, Chennai, and the list goes on and on, and it is a non-stop list. Now he is amidst us to deliver the webinar on Take the Lead When There Is Need. And no wonder our students are going to make use of this seminar by gaining valuable insights from such a wonderful and experienced person. Our students are really lucky to have you, sir. Welcome you, Kristuraj, sir. I welcome the heads of the departments, professors from Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts College and other colleges and universities, and participants from various fields, students. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are very much excited for the session. Small instruction. I request participants to mute themselves. Now, I request Mr. S. Kristuraj sir to take over the session.
Ma'am, is it audible? Sir, பேசுறது கேக்குதா?
No, sir. No, sir.
Good, sir.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Sir, Kiswaji, sir. Sir, நீங்க மியூட்ல இருக்கீங்க, Mr. Chris. Yeah, yeah.
I think
Sir,
group
okay? Sir,
now
then
it's
Yes,
it's
fine, sir.
Yeah, now
Yes,
just
fine.
now it's okay, sir. Fine, sir.
I gave a small thanks note to all the professors. I don't know whether it was audible. Was it okay?
Yeah, now it's fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Okay. So again, I would like to thank and appreciate all the organizers, particularly the principal ma'am and the HOD and all the organizing committee members, professors, and particularly Professor Sakti Devi was in contact with me in fixing me on this program. So I thank her also particularly. Also, one of your students, Bhima Boy, and she was also in close association with us. So I thank everybody for organizing this program, the national level program. Take the lead. The topic itself is very, very challenging, very interesting. So I'm happy to be part of this session. So maybe I would go for about 30 minutes. Is that okay? My session. And then I leave the floor open for students and participants to come out with the suggestions and clarifications. And also, professors told me that I could be both bilingual. Is that okay if I go in Tamil and English mixed?
Yes, sir. Yes. Can be
Yes, sir.
bilingual.
I would not understand Tamil, ma'am. I'm from Madhya Pradesh, so Tamil would not work for me.
Fine,
he
fine,
will-
ma'am. Fine. I will be my major portion.
English would be perfect, sir. English would be perfect.
Definitely, English and Tamil only are the two languages I'm conversant with.
Thank
So
you.
we'll have English, of course. Also, taking into consideration of the major participants from Tamil Nadu, here and there, I will also have certain things in Tamil. So
That's fine, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. Well, the session went through a kind of a small transition on the topic itself, if I'm right. Earlier, it was termed as the plum in the slum. Okay, speaking or coming out on the salient, proactive, very vibrant features in the slum or the rural or the fringes of the society. And again, the topic moves on to take the lead where there is a need. Okay, I see both these two elements are very much connected. We have to take a lead where there is a need. So the challenge is to find out, to identify where there is a need, where there is a requirement, where there is a demand. So that is where we have to take a lead. As the department is connected and concerned with professional social work. Okay, it's not just a charity-based social work. We are all now talking about professionalism in social work. So such being the position, we need to take the lead in a professional manner, okay, for which we need to go into analysis. Okay, we need to go into problem statement, and we need to go into find out and identify the situation analysis. That is how we can take a lead. So to find out where there is a need, we need to do all these small miniature researches, like where there is a need to find out, as a suggestion. So in an Indian context or in the global context, okay, we know well the society is not equal or equitable. It is divided, it is polarized, and it is hierarchical. We need to realize that basically. We need to open our eyes and to see that the society is not equal. So that is why we are talking about equality. We are talking about equity. So in order to understand this, we need to do some kind of a basic survey or a research. We call it, you all are aware of it. We call it baseline data, collection of baseline data and problem analysis. There are different methodologies to find out where there is a need, who is in need, and why they are in need. So we need to particularly to be we need to be very critical in our approach. We need to be very scientific in our approach. So in order to assess the need assessment requires, as I said, all these factors. So these factors, of course, I know for sure the students in social work department in detail they'll be taught into. Okay, if you go in for problem analysis, there are different methodologies, different approaches to find out how. There is an approach called a participatory rural appraisal. That is a methodology, which means you go into a particular area, you go into a particular social context in which you sit with the people, you appraise the situation. For example, what are the resources available? What are the gaps present there in the society? And that is being done with the participation of children, youth, both young women and men, the women groups, the men, the local political leaders, the Panchayat Rural Institute members. So all these people are involved. Take a few of them and make an analysis of the gaps and the strengths. So this is one method of, this has to be seen into very detailed manner. I'm just giving you certain approaches how we identify a need. So the need can be done through participatory rural appraisal method. You go to a slum, again similar approach can be done. You go anywhere. So this approach is a very well designed approach, participatory rural appraisal. There is a methodology called a SWOT. Okay, strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. So this methodology also can be used. So what are the strengths? The strength means the availability, the resources, etc. What are the threats? SWOT. What are the opportunities? And what are the weaknesses? So if you scientifically sit and tabulate all these elements, you can come out with what is the need, what is the requirement. And again, there is another approach called a problem tree. Okay, you draw a tree from the root. Okay, go to the top, and the top would be the issues and the concerns that is appearing seen in the face. Okay, kind of an iceberg, but you go deep into it and you find out the root. So accordingly, these are the things which needs to be addressed, which needs to be clarified, which needs to be set right. So this problem tree method is another method. So I just giving you one or two methodologies. இப்போ நம்ம தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னாக்கா ஒரு கிராமத்துக்கு நம்ம போறோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய இளைஞர்களோடு, பெண்களோடு, குழந்தைகளோடு, கல்லூரி மாணவர்களோடு அமர்ந்து அந்த கிராமத்தினுடைய தேவைகள் என்ன, அந்த கிராமத்தினுடைய வளங்கள் என்ன, இதை குறித்து ஒரு பகுப்பாய்வு செய்து அதனுடைய அடிப்படையில் அந்த தேவைக்கு வருக அந்த கிராமங்களுக்கு, அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய மக்களுக்கு, அங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய பொருளாதார சூழல், சமூக சூழலை மேம்படுத்துவதற்கு நம்ம என்ன செய்ய வேண்டும் என்பதை நாம் அவர்களோடு அவர்களுடைய பங்கேற்போடு அதை நாம் காண வேண்டும். இதுதான் participatory rural appraisal. So இது ஒரு methodology. So இந்த போல there are different methodologies which we need to be aware, which we need to engage into. So இதுதான் வந்து ஒரு தேவையை காண முடியும். So the need, where there is a need, we have to take a lead. Upon the need analysis, need interpretation is very, very basic. So அதுல இருந்து வந்து we come out with a problem statement. After analysis, we find out, we may not call it a problem. These days, these management people, they don't use the word problem. They use it as an opportunity. We don't see anything as a problem anymore. We see it as an opportunity to solve it. We see it as an opportunity to develop it. So அப்படி இருக்கும்பொழுது வந்து அப்போ இது என்ன செய்யணும்னாக்கா ஏதோ நம்ம அவுட்சைடரா இருந்து பண்ணிட முடியாது. We can't be an outsider of the thing. We need to go in and sit with the people and accordingly analyze and then come out with a plan. So இதுதான் வந்து முதல்ல தேவையை புரிந்து கொள்வதற்கான ஒரு சூழல். அதே போலதான் இந்த SWOT அனாலிசிஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்றேன் நான். ஸ்ட்ரென்த், வீக்னஸ், ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி அண்ட் த்ரெட். அப்போ ஒரு மக்கள் குழு, ஒரு மக்கள் இனம் இருக்கிறாங்க, ஒரு பகுதி மக்கள் இருக்கிறாங்க, அங்க நம்ம போகிறோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா அவங்களுடைய ஸ்ட்ரென்த் என்ன அப்படின்றத நம்ம பார்க்குறோம். அவங்களுடைய வீக்னஸ் என்ன அப்படின்னும் போது அவங்க என்ன டெவலப் ஆகணும் அப்படின்றத நம்ம வீக்னஸ். வி டோன்ட் see it as a அது ஒரு நெகட்டிவ் இதா நம்ம பார்க்கறது கிடையாது. வி see it as a positive manner, trying to understand what needs to be set right, what needs to be developed. அதே போல what are the opportunities and what are the threats, என்ன external factors that can cause disturbance. அப்ப இந்த ஒரு சூழலை நம்ம காண வேண்டும். ஸோ அதே போல நான் சொன்ன போல இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் ட்ரீ, நமக்கு மேலே தெரிகின்ற சூழல்கள் என்ன, புறச்சூழல்கள், அடுத்தது அகச்சூழல்கள், வேறு அடியில என்ன புதைந்து கிடக்கிறது இந்த சமூகத்தில் அல்லது அந்த பர்டிகுலர் சமூகத்தில். அப்ப இதை நம்ம we have to identify. So these are the methodologies we need to. One a few of the methodologies. There are other methodologies proposed by professional social workers and sociologists and political scientists. So in the methodologies நம்ம வந்து engage பண்ணலாம். We can even amalgamate the methodologies, but we need to ensure that the people from children to elders participate in the process. அதை வந்து நம்ம ஏதோ நம்மளாம் MSW ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் நமக்கு எல்லாம் தெரியும் அப்படின்ற போல போயிட்டு ஒரு 10 நாள் ஒரு கிராமத்துக்குள்ள போயிட்டு நமக்கு தெரிஞ்ச விஷயங்களை நம்ம சொல்லிட்டு வந்துடக்கூடாது, இல்லை நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சது மட்டும் புலப்பட்டது மட்டும் சொல்லக்கூடாது. This exercise has to be done in participation with the people. That is why it is called a participatory analysis, participatory appraisal. So இந்த மெத்தடாலஜி ஏன்னா யாருக்கு மாற்றம் விளைவிக்க வேண்டும் என்று நாம் நினைக்கிறோமோ அவர்கள் அதில் பங்காளர்களாக இருக்க வேண்டும். They are not just target people. We don't anymore call anybody as a target. ஏன்னா நாம அவங்கள ஒரு தூரத்துல வச்சுட்டு அவங்கள வந்து ஏதோ அவங்களுக்கு செய்ய போறோம் அப்படின்னாக்கா we are not going to achieve anything and we are not going to change much. Whereas they have to be participants, they have to participate, they have to be discussed with, they have to be planned with. So அதற்கு நம்ம சொன்ன போல முதல்ல வந்து this problem analysis is very very important, very very basic. So இதுதான் வந்து ஒரு மாற்றத்தை கொண்டு வர வேண்டும் என்றால் to bring in change, to bring in transformation, இது வந்து ஒரு அடித்தளமாக நான் பார்க்கிறேன். The problem analysis or analysis, situational analysis. ஸோ இதை வந்து ஒரு பேசிக்காக வச்சுட்டு இதை வந்து நம்ம டேப்லேட் பண்றது வந்து there are different methodology. log frame இருக்கு, அல்லது வந்து நம்ம டிஸ்கிரிப்டிவா எழுதலாம். We can go in for case studies நம்ம பண்ணி எழுதலாம், taking different case stories like experiences of women, experiences of men, children, adults. So there are different methodologies to record. And then நான் சொன்ன போல இந்த baseline data சொல்லுவோம். அந்த டேட்டா வந்து numerically we can also call out the situation analysis. ஸோ இந்த எல்லா மெத்தடாலஜியும் நம்ம காம்ப்ரிஹென்சிவா நம்ம பயன்படுத்தும் பொழுது நம்மளுக்கு வந்து கண்டிப்பாக we get to know the situation. இப்போ நம்ம ஒரு ஏரியாவை அனாலிசிஸ் பண்ணும் பொழுது அல்லது ஒரு டவுன் ட்ராடன் ஏரியா அல்லது ஒரு ஸ்லம் அல்லது வந்து ஒரு ரூரல் ஏரியா ஒரு ரிமோட் ஏரியா என்னும் பொழுது மோஸ்ட்லி நம்ம என்ன கண்டுபிடிக்கிறோம், என்ன சொல்றாங்க, தீஸ் ஆர் த நார்மல் கிளிஷேஸ் ஐ வுட் கால் இட் ஆர் த ஸ்டீரியோடைப் திங்ஸ். ஓகே, ஒரு ஸ்லம் ஒரு வில்லேஜ்னா என்னவா இருக்காங்க, கண்டிப்பா we all believe அங்க கண்டிப்பா people will be poor. அப்ப poverty. So we take for granted people are poor there. We take that there has to be poverty. Okay, அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து நம்ம என்ன நினைச்சுக்கிறோம், okay, of course we are all in cities and towns. Okay, நம்மளுக்கு sanitation, அங்கெல்லாம் sanitation ஒழுங்கா இருக்காது, sanitary provisions ஒழுங்கா இருக்காது. So people will be unclean, okay, unhealthy. So we take for granted. இதெல்லாம் நம்ம மைண்ட்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய stereotype thinking, cliches or preconceived ideas or biased ideas. So நம்ம என்ன பண்றோம், அவங்கெல்லாம் வந்து கண்டிப்பா என்ன நினைக்கிறோம், cities வந்து the level of literacy will be more and in slums and villages it will be less. So illiteracy, or I don't even call it illiteracy, I normally call it non-literacy. Why I call it non-literacy? Just a small explanation. Ill means, well, it is very negative. Okay, I'm ill means I'm not doing good. So illiteracy means literacy which is ill. No, there cannot be illiteracy. It can be non-literacy or literacy. That's all. Either I have access to formal education or I don't have. That's all. There is a difference between formal education, formal academic life, and then non-formal. Non-formal, supposing I'm just grazing cows, doesn't mean that I'm non-literate or illiterate. I have my knowledge, my expertise in management of cows, management of cow dung, management of milk. Okay, that is sufficient for me, and I'm comfortable and happy. But we all believe, with all our master degrees, etc., and etc., we think those people are illiterate. No, let's not come into those kind of again biased, preconceived ideas. So, and of course, unemployment. We strongly believe those people are unemployed, which means they're not permanently employed, or they're all unskilled laborers. So these are the cliches why a slum is formed, why a village is there. So these are the regularly, universally, this is how it is thing. You go to America, you ask an American, he'll say yes, the slums are unclean. You just close his eyes and say. And you come to Chennai, சென்னையில அதே தான் சொல்லுவாங்க, ஏங்க அதெல்லாம் அப்படிதான் இருக்குங்க, குடிசை பகுதியெல்லாம் வந்து மக்கள் வந்து கிளீனா இருக்க மாட்டாங்க, அவங்களாம் சுத்தமா இருக்க மாட்டாங்க, அங்க எல்லாம் வந்து குடிச்சிட்டு தெரிஞ்சிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, drug addiction will be more. These are the cliches, but we do not have real data. We do not have real analysis of what is present there. That is why I'm calling it as biased, preconceived ideas, preconceived notions. We need to break that. To break that, we need to really understand what is happening there. We need to scientifically analyze. We need to scientifically open our eyes to see what is happening there. And that cannot be done only being an outsider. We need to go into it. That is why I said in the methodology of analysis, we need to involve people. We need to involve people of the locality. They need to participate. Then only we can get to know their strength, their opportunities, their resources, their proactive roles being done. So in the proactive role, their strength, we shouldn't be only seeing their vulnerable position alone. We need to see the positive aspects. So we have to come out of it. We need to we need to clarify, we need to refresh, or we need to purify our even outlook. I would call it an outlook on these localities, or the people who are living in slums, or who are living in the outskirts, peripheries of the cities, or the villages, the remote villages. Gandhi would say, the villages are the backbone of India. கிராமங்களே இந்தியாவின் முதுகெலும்புன்னு சொல்லுவார். But today that's been neglected. If you say someone is from a village, we try to look down upon. And someone says, I'm coming from a slum locality or the outskirts, we try to think, no. Someone says, I was educated in a government school. We tend to think, okay, these are the ideas we need to break. These are the shackles that we have to clear off. These are the preconceived notions. So as scholars, as educationists, or professional social workers, we need to clarify, and we come to a kind of a open-mindedness, so that we understand the situation, we understand the need. Then only we can take a lead. So understand the situation, understanding the need requires an open mind, and of course a research perspective. That's what I would call it, a research orientation. So let us as participants, let us have an open clarity in understanding the situation. So that is a very basis. So basically, I said initially, we need to have a research approach into the situation, and secondly, an openness. The methodology, as I said, different methodologies, and basically as a social worker, as a social activist, or social thinker, whoever it is, however we call ourselves, we need to have this openness, and for which let us come out of these stereotypes. Let us break those preconceived notions, preconceived ideas. So then only we can understand the need of the people, understand the need of the situation, understand the signs of the times. We will call it signs of the times, because every political, every historical era will reflect and will come out with a certain signs. We need to understand that. We need to understand only through our openness we can understand that. So reading the signs of the times, or to understand the situation, let us be open. That is a very, very priority which we need to be with. We need to clarify situations. So let us not take for granted anything that is told to us, or anything that is presented to us. Let us go into have a scientific approach. So that's what my next point is, to have a scientific approach to understand the situation. Scientific approach would say all the methodologies available, all the current political scenario. So we need to understand the socio-cultural, economic, political situation. That is the scientific approach. So socially, I would say, what is the society? How the society is comprised? Okay, our society, as I said, it is polarized or hierarchical. Okay, in Indian context, the society is either fabricated or it is evolved into caste system. We need to understand that. To go into a village or go into a slum, we need to understand the caste structure or the caste hierarchy or caste stratification. That is very basic. And then the gender clarification we need to understand. Okay, we don't see both men and women are equally understood or are treated or opportunities are given equally. No, we know very well there is a gender bias. Okay, when I say gender bias, you know well. Okay, it has to be seen. Okay, so the clarity on sex and gender. So when it comes to gender, how socially we see the role of male people and role of female, and of course there is a ism, feminism and all that. Okay, to push forward their conceptuals and their perspectives. So basically the social analysis, the gender perspective, and of course, and our people are very much connected to different religions. And you know very well, India is a secular country. Okay, we promote secularism. We don't. I know, of course, there is the freedom of religion, freedom of practice of religion, freedom of faith. Anyone can practice any religion, any faith that they want and propagate. But then we don't, in public life, make divisions or stratifications based on religion. We don't do that. We are not supposed to do that because people, it is personal. It is communitarian. But then we go beyond to see what development can be done. So the social, and then gender, and then religious, and then we are pluralistic cultural people. Okay, cultural analysis is required. Okay, a cultural understanding, the different cultures, different cultural practices, cultural beliefs, traditions. So we need to understand all this. Okay, we cannot look down upon certain traditions or cultural practices of people just because we are not part of it, or we are away from it, or we have left behind it. We need to have open mind. We need to have clarity on understanding different cultures, because in a particular place, Tamil Nadu, with all these 37, 38 districts, each even locality has got their own language styles. Let me not call it a slang, but then they call it slang, the style of language. Even though everybody speaks Tamil, the Madras Tamil is different from Madurai. It is different from Tirunelveli. And you go to Kanyakumari and totally different. And you come middle way to Viluppuram, Velur, it is different, because every soil, every locality has got its own specificity. So we understand the cultural aspect. And then, of course, the political aspect of people. Now, I'm not talking about party politics. I'm talking about politics. Okay, decision-making process. Okay, the decision-making process, the traditional decision-making process in India, in Tamil Nadu. Okay, the old Panchayat system. We will have traditional Panchayat leaders. Okay, certain areas we call it a Natar, Kuttunatar, and everything is there. Kulam is there, and this has to be understood and respected. Of course, today we have elected representatives, and of course, those days we have our own traditional leaders. Okay, and they are respected, and they have their own strategies of interception or intervention. Okay, positively trying to solve issues, trying to develop propose a developmental methodology. So the leadership. So just few things, and of course, we talk about the education from the education point of view. Okay, people are educated with the modern education, technical education, traditional education. So and of course, people who learn from the lifestyle of the people. So this has to be analyzed. This has to be seen into. This has to be given importance. So in order to understand where there is a need, we need to understand all this. As I said, social, political, religious, cultural, gender, education, and all these have to be seen into and understood and perceived. So without understanding these factors, we cannot understand the need of the people. We cannot understand the need of the situation. So definitely we need to have a scientific approach into socio-political, cultural, economic understanding of the situation. Okay, of course, I missed out the economic analysis also. So when I talked about the education, health, culture, social and all that, of course, the economic situation of the people, the landlessness, Okay, there are still, after 77 years of independence, there are people who have no land. They don't even possess land. They don't even possess pata for 1 cent or 2 cents. We have not clarified all this. So there is one way, there is a poverty. They don't even, when there is an accumulation of land by individuals, firms and consortiums, companies, and there are individuals who do not possess anything. So this has to be understood. So the job opportunities, the job market that we talk about, the employability of people, underemployability, and uncertainty that is connected to employment. So these things have to be definitely understood. Of course, in Indian context and in Tamil Nadu context, we cannot miss out agriculture. Okay, because agriculture being the base. When you talk about the rural, remote villages, still the tribal people, the remote villages, they still depend on agriculture. So these has to be seen in order to understand the need. So if we need to take a lead, we have to take a lead, very perfect, meaningful, prospective, proactive lead. We need to understand the need. In order to understand these exercises, we have to go through. So as I said initially, the analysis, research perspective, and of course, and the scientific approach. In scientific approach, we need to go through, we need to understand these various factors. Okay. And secondly, when we understand all this, okay, there is to be a scientist, social scientist who says, go to the people. You go to the people. Learn from them. Build from them. Not with the fragments, but with the comprehensive, holistic manner. He goes into, very, very, very scientific approach. I think a South American social scholar, I forget his name. So go to the people. If you have to understand the need of the people, again, I'm saying, that is go to the people. That is be with the youth. If you have to understand the need of children, the educational, psychological, emotional needs of children, you have to go to the children. Okay, we can't see some documentaries. We can't go through a few pages done by researchers. Or we can't just be satisfied with some websites in Google. We need to go to them. Go to children where they play, where they live, where they are educated. Then only we can understand children. To understand the need of the women, the working women, we need to go. What are the working conditions of women? Whether the legal measures are followed, whether all the requirements are done, whether the salary pattern is ensured, whether the safety of women, okay, from harassment, of their health, etc., are taken into consideration. So this can be done not just reading texts or books or journals or magazines or dailies. We need to go to their particular situation. So go to the people, live with them. Probably we may not be able to live during our scholarly duration, but then I think departments like social work and sociology, political science certainly should go to the people. I did my sociology in Noida. We went 1 month to a particular village near Chengalpat. We lived with the people. We made a very scientific, detailed analysis of their situation. And then we performed a certain theatrical thing based on our analysis. And we discussed with the youth. We planned with the teachers. We planned with the Panchayat people. So we need to kind of be there with the people. Okay, we cannot make a very theoretical approach to take a lead. Taking a lead would definitely mean we are there, we should be there with the people. So that is very, very pertinent. Of course, it may not be totally our education, because our education system is still confined to 4 walls. Okay, we still believe in a laboratory methodology of education. Of course, my perspective on education is different. Of course, that has to be discussed or another discussion. Now we are discussing on a particular thing. But of course, theoretical activity. Paulo Freire, I will later on I'll speak about his contribution, because the theoretical activity, he calls it theoretical activity and critical appraisal. So that would require activity and theory, a combination of both. So then only we can come out with a real analysis of need. Only by understanding, perceiving, and coming out to problem statement and analysis, need analysis, we can understand. Then only we can take a lead. So definitely to take a lead, where to take a lead, we need to understand. Then as I said, when I did all these analysis and clarifications, As I said, there are certain preconceived ideas about slums and villages, but then it is not true. When you go there, for example, we think people are unclean. Okay, அங்க போனாவே வந்து சுத்தமா இருக்காது, ரொம்ப சகதியா இருக்கும், சேரா இருக்கும், அப்படி gutters இருக்கும், ghettos, they call it ghettos, very narrow lanes. My point is, who made it narrow? Okay, we have a thing called town and country planning department. If everything is planned, everything is meticulously done, then how can there be still gutters uncleaned? So, but then this is how we conceive. You go to villages, they are all unclean. But it is not so. You go to the thing, they're so clean. Everybody takes bath, and everybody puts a thing, keeps flower, and then gets ready for the job, gets ready for the day. This can be seen only when you go to a particular house. You live there. Everything is very neat. But only thing is, they're living abode. Maybe their houses, maybe little very small, very, 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 because that is how it's been planned. Okay, I will also have a few words about the slum clearance board, because we're talking about slum and change and transformation. And the way it is planned, very, very small houses, okay, huddled up. When we plan itself, it is being done, then we do not have a very clarity on planning. When we do not have a comprehensive planning, and then it's not going to be very changing. Well, in Samanjari, the people in Chennai are removed and settled, huddled up in Chamanjari areas. Students can make a visit there. Okay, huge number of buildings where people are put up in a very small houses. And I don't know, there is a school in the building itself where they're supposed to live. Imagine how a school should be there. A school should have a very spacious place, a playground, a well-protected wall, and well-designed classrooms, and student-teacher ratio has to be maintained. There has to be a library, there has to be a laboratory, good drinking water, portable drinking water facility, and separate toilet for both boys and girls with running water. These are the minimum requirements. Okay, today we are talking about digital education, but I'm not going to digital at all. A regular, well-structured school has to be that way. But then we are running a school in the building built for people. But how do you think of running a school with the protection? But this is how it is designed. And then we come out and say, they're not clean, they're not doing well, they're not fine. These are the cliches, as I said in the initial stages. We need to clarify. If at all it is there, then why? That is where our scientific approach is needed. But then, let me not go into much on it. Let me say that the salient, those people are really clean, but then the locality, they are unable to clean because their lifestyle is such and their demands are more. And again, those people are very much united. நீங்க கிராமங்களுக்கு போனீங்கன்னா, குடிசை பகுதிக்கு போனீங்கன்னா, மக்கள் அப்படியே உட்கார்ந்து தெருவில் பேசிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, மகிழ்ச்சியா இருப்பாங்க. ஒரு பிரச்சனை எல்லாரும் கூடி வந்து என்னன்னு கேட்பாங்க, அது என்னன்னு சால்வ் பண்ண பார்ப்பாங்க. There will be community intervention, any issue. அதை யாரும் வேடிக்கை பார்த்துட்டு போக மாட்டாங்க. இப்ப மவுண்ட் ரோடுல ஒரு விஷயம் நடந்துச்சுன்னா எல்லாரும் வேடிக்கை பார்த்துட்டு போயினே இருப்பாங்க, கார் பைக் பறந்து போயிட்டே இருக்கும், because it is not their issue. But go to a slum, something happens, people will immediately come together and they will try to solve the issue. They will try to do their best in order to solve it. So that is the beauty of the people who are living in villages and slums. Okay, அவங்களுடைய அப்ரோச்சை பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா, they accept their life. Okay, they do not every time talk about their poverty. They do not talk about their non-availability of comfort or the opportunities. They are very comfortable. Given the situation, they are very happy. Given the situation, they are comfortable. Given the situation, they take things in a positive manner and then they try to build on. So this is the positive approach they have. And then their cultural bonding is very strong. The festivals, the cultural celebrations, the marriages and other functions, family functions are so beautifully, so vibrantly done, because they are the people who believe in celebration. They don't sit and mourn. They don't sit and plan for how we can, dominate others, how we can destroy others. No, their concern is not that. They celebrate life. If you go to a village, go to a slum, it is full of celebrations. full of vibrations of life. They share whatever they have. You go to some, you see small petty shops. There will be small lady sitting on the pavement. Idli suttutirupanga. She'll be, some idli, some bada, some puri, some dosai. For 10 rupees, 15 rupees, you could have a sumptuous meal. Some 30 rupees, you will have a meal with the fish. 50 rupees, you have sumptuous meal. Which means they do not bargain food on economical terms. Okay, they're not so worried about making hundreds and 200s on a meal. They are worried about just giving food to people and make little money. And then maybe tomorrow I have to open the shop, for which let me make little money. That is how people live. So the economical structure itself, it balances to the need. That is how their shops, their eatables, their festivities, their own gods and goddesses, everything, they're people oriented. So the entire social, cultural, political, economical structure is that it is so vibrant, it is so beautiful. So these positivity has to be seen, that the community is integral. It is not fabricated. You go to a thing, it is not stratified. It is amalgamated. Maybe people belonging to different caste, different economical situation might live there, but then they are all integrated. They live together. They are fabricated together. They are not fragmented. So they live life in a beautiful manner. They celebrate. And then you go to places like VYASARPADI, you see, sports. Children keep playing football, cricket, volleyball, you term it any game, kabaddi, they are doing best because it is an outcome of life. Okay, they may not very, very strongly make it professionally strong, but then children keep playing. They're so good. So you go, they play carom board so well, table tennis, football. So they're full of they make life so beautiful by playing, by listening to music, their celebrations, and with the little earnings they have their share. So life in slum, in a village, is so beautiful, so comprehensive, so integral, and they make life so beautiful. So this has to be seen very positively. So the analytical point, I said, the vibrant, positive points in a village, which are very criminal. There are very beautiful leaders, community leaders, very beautiful political leaders, very committed political leaders who are worried about doing good for the people. The social leaders, they are concerned about the people, the children, their women. For example, in a slum, you can't just harass a woman and go away. You can't, threaten a person and then go away, because it is well knit community. If there is a threat, definitely they will come into. So the world bias, there will be criminals there. It's all branded. That's how it is branded. In order to make a place criminalization was a process of the society. We need to go through all that minimum 150 years, 200 years of history. Only we get to know how societies are being criminalized. And definitely there is an approach by the oppressors to criminalize a village or criminalize a suburban area or to criminalize a slum. But then it is not so. They are so integral, so fabricated, so well knit. So that is how they would like to change themselves. Well, so of course, now our society, with all the developments, with the development cities, the skyscrapers, the gated communities, and all that, the purification of, and all that, way back in 1970 itself, the Slum Clearance Board was established in Tamil Nadu. And there was an act, Slum Clearance Act, Regularization Act in 1971. And with the Vision 2022, they are talking about slum-free cities. Slum-free cities, which means the native people of the cities, the so-called North Madras people who are natives or who are living there, or they were living on the river banks. Our rivers have been made into kuvams or gutters. That is unscientific approach towards cleanliness. You make every dirt and convert it into a kuvam river. Kuvam river was, we know well the history of Kuvam river. It was used as a place for drinking water and for voyage, taking things up to Tiruvallur. Now it is made into a gutter. Who is responsible? Now we are seeking support from Japan to clean it. I don't know how it is possible. You make it dirtiest and then try to clean it, and then so these are not going to solve problems. But then we think it is all made by people who are living on the fringes or the river banks. It's not so, but the entire thing is poured into. So kind of understanding the situation, okay, we need to have a very, very scientific approach. Okay, the scientific approach, I'm just trying to only just uh, take an inspiration from uh, Paulo Freire, okay, one of the South American educationists. He has a beautiful approach called the pedagogy of the oppressed. Pedagogy of the oppressed. Well, pedagogy means, well, it is the methodology of education, okay? A systematic approach into education. He says there has to be pedagogy of the oppressed. To uplift, to find out the need, you need to have a methodology, a pedagogy, a system of education itself. Then only we can change. We cannot only take the education of the Westerners and then try to adapt here in India or adapt here in Tamil Nadu. That cannot work here. We need to have the, as I said, pedagogy of the people, pedagogy of the appraisal of the people. So we need to involve the people. So for which you would say interdisciplinary theoretical activity. So the methodology that he proposes is interdisciplinary theoretical activity, which is very, very basic. Interdisciplinary means, as I said, social, political, economical, cultural, religious, gender. So all these elements have to be integrated. And there are sciences connected to all this, we know well, okay? So all these sciences, okay? Both the technical sciences and social sciences have to be amalgamated, and then I have an approach of theoretical activity. So we cannot come out with the theories staying outside. We need to go into the people, go with the people and create an activity. So the activity is based on the learnings, based on the analysis, based on the scientific approach we are going to do it. So that is a basis. So interdisciplinary theoretical activity, that is what proposed by Paulo Freire. You would call it critical thinking. Critical thinking is nothing but trying to understand the society is not equal. The society is hierarchical. The society is divided. The society is polarized. We need to understand that when the society is polarized, the society is hierarchical, society is stratified, then we need to set right. So an approach to understand this, we need to have critical thinking, the critical approach. So the critical approach is scientific approach. I'm calling it as a scientific approach. Scientific. It is not critical means when somebody says you are very critical, it is not negative. It means I'm trying to understand the society. I'm trying to understand the situation. Okay. Only when we understand that it is divided, when there is skyscrapers going up, when there are huge amount poured in by the Westerners and all the planning people to develop the cities, when money is not poured into slums and villages for development, is it not polarized? So a kind of a critical approach, critical thinking into it only change. So to change the need, to take a lead, we need to have a critical thinking. Critical thinking will have to evolve itself from interdisciplinary theoretical activity. Okay, so we need to understand those oppressors or those who think about lopsided development, they will have only divide and rule policy. So the divide and rule or the division, we need to understand. Our approach will be not divisive or fragmental. Instead, our approach will be comprehensive. Okay, our approach will be fabricated. Our approach will be organic. So it has to come with the people, evolve with the people. So it has to develop. So when something we want to do, we sit with the people, plan with the people. Accordingly, we develop an approach. So that is what we need to understand. So for which we need to understand one thing, the difference between being and having. When I say what I am is being. Today, all of us try to understand when what I am means what I have. What is the house I have? What is the amount bank balance I have in my account? Or what is the qualification? These are all having. But the being is the integrity of my personality. So the integrity of the society, integrity of the underprivileged society we need to develop, for which we need to have scientific approach, scientific requirement, for which we need to see the positive elements and build upon it. As I said, there are several positives: the integrity, the uniqueness, the festivity, the celebration, the equality, okay, the gender equity, okay. So all these things, the leadership qualities, the socio-traditional leadership qualities. So all this we need to kind of understand. Then only we can develop on it. So, my dear friends, I think I have taken more time. So let me wind up. So the approach to understand, to take the lead from where it is need, where there is a need, we need to kind of have a scientific approach, scientific perspective, for which we need to be open-minded and understand the positivity in the villages, positivity in the fringes, positivity in the outskirts, positivity in the slums, and understand their strength. And only from their strength we can build on. Only from their strength, opportunities we can build on. So that is an approach. That approach, as I said, theoretical activity. So let me not have only theoretical or book-based or laboratory-based or library-based approach. Otherwise, let me go into the society, delve into the society, sit with the people, plan for which I need to serve. So let my learning experience will have to go to the village. Let us go to the slum. It has to go to the suburb. Then only we can bring in changes. So the professional approach is interdisciplinary theoretical activity. So let me conclude with this approach. So my dear friends, my dear participants, so let us have a comprehensive, integral, organic approach towards social change, for which let us be open-minded. Let us clear off all the biased, preconceived ideas, notions that we have about people in slums and villages and tribal hamlets or in the peripheries of the society. So let us have open-minded, let us see their positivity and build on it. So thank you. So I would ask any clarifications or suggestions or counter things you have, please come forward. You can raise your hand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Even in villages also nowadays, the unity is getting diverted. Lot of problems are coming in villages also.
Yes, sir. I feel it is not coming in, as you said, you rightly, it is coming from outside, from without to within.
Exactly, so, sir. Exactly. The correct word is coming out from that. I know.
Coming out. So because people in villages with a different caste, with a different economic situation, because I hail from a village, they are all united. With the modernism, with the modern developments, they try to divide and rule. So for which political, religious, communal elements are coming into dividing the people. So we need to be cautious about it.
Exactly correct, sir. Political plays a major role.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
For this wonderful informative session. This question answer session. And unmute yourself and ask your doubt, or else you can post your doubts in chat box.
No, I can't hear some noises going on. Some huge noises going on. Please organize this.
Veeran sir, the voice is not audible. Veeran sir, voice is not audible. Veeran sir, அங்க இருந்து வாய்ஸ் சரியா இல்ல. இப்போ அன்மியூட் பண்ணி பாருங்க. அங்கதான் நிறைய நாய்ஸ் வந்தது. நீங்க பேசுங்க இப்போ அன்மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு. இப்ப கிளியரா இருக்கு சார். இப்ப கிளியரா இருக்கு. பேசுங்க சார். பேசுங்க வீரன் சார். வீரன் சார் நீங்க கேளுங்க.
I think somebody else was asking a doubt. Amin, yes, please.
Yes, I have a question. I can ask, right?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for the wonderful session. This is Sridhar, and my question is: we have discussed a lot about the nature of rural slum and the challenges they face. My question is: irrespective of being a village or rural or urban, still in a lot of government institutions, we can see students are getting discriminated based on their class and caste. So how to address this? Because when you speak about slum, caste discrimination comes along with that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, can you talk about the subtle discrimination or prejudice that the teachers have towards students?
Definitely, this is very, very pertinent and very important question. When I spoke about the social analysis, I just little touched upon the caste stratification or discriminations. Okay, this is a huge issue. Children, women, men face who come from caste discriminated villages or slums. Okay, and one thing is, our government is trying to do a lot of very positive approach to ensure a quality education to all. Okay, that I cannot rule out. Okay, but then when we go into an analysis of it, for example, we did a small study on Adi Dravida welfare schools in Tamil Nadu. We went to a school. In that particular school, bulls were tied on the veranda of the school. So imagine the type of treatment being given to children. And another school near Salem, I don't want to name the school, where in one of the classrooms, the panchayat uses a small vehicle type of thing, for removing garbages. That thing was kept there in a classroom, and children are outside, sitting outside. So this discrimination is still there, okay, being practiced. Sometimes very openly it is being practiced, and sometimes indirectly it is being practiced. Okay, we cannot rule out that. We cannot rule that it is still there. It is a very, very strong issue in an Indian situation. The discrimination based on caste. That is that. But we need to understand. We need to have another session to discuss into it. But then that is there. We need to address it. Okay, we need to address. For example, priority has to be given to develop the schools, colleges, technical institutes in slums and villages. Okay, for example, we gave a proposal to the government. Every panchayat should have a higher secondary school in its neighborhood, so that children do not need to travel to long distances and wait for buses. Okay, they have to have a school in their vicinity, neighborhood. Then will be, for example, take the plight of the girl children going in a bus, okay, full of men pulling them, harassing them, abusing them. How will they continue their education? This is same with the caste affected children also. The tribal children go to tribal hamlets in Yerkad, Pachamalai, Kalmarayan Malai, Kollimalai, or Kodaikanal. We did a study in Kodaikanal on malnourishment of the children. The schools are not there. The Anganwadis are not functioning. Teachers come by 11 o'clock and leave by 2 o'clock. My dear friends, what do you think? How it happens? Teachers do not like to teach. Sometimes they frankly speak what these people are going to do. So, if you want to take a lead, if you want to do a professional social work, go there. Let us have a clarity. Let us analyze and try to give a proper proposal. Let us strengthen the system. For example, very, very many government schools do not have maths and science teachers. There are schools without headmasters. Okay, only for 3 months or 2 months, another teacher from another neighborhood school will come and teach maths and science. How do you expect a student from government school to score well? And finally, you say children in government schools are not doing well. So this paradox has to be handled. We need to discuss more on it. That discrimination is there. We have to understand that. We need to work on it, for which our contribution, our participation is very much important. Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Students can unmute yourself and ask them. So we have 2 questions in chat.
Yes. Yeah.
From Carol Pamela, as an NGO, how to look out for passionate people from community to work alongside us for common goals for their community. How to look out for passionate people from the community to work alongside us for common goals for their community.
Okay. Fine. See, first of all, I was also consultant to UNICEF and all that. The point is, the schemes, the programs, as I said earlier, Is it being planned with the people? Is a question mark. It is not being planned with the people. See, for example, we have Panchayat Raj system, PRI system. Okay, when Panchayat people are there, Panchayat Raj is there, we have a Grama Sabha, okay, which is empowered. You take a school, we have a school management committee according to Right to Education Act. So these committees or sabhas have to be empowered for planning. Their plan have to come out as a action. It has to come out as a scheme. You don't sit in the legislative assembly or parliament, pass a scheme, pass a program supported by secretaries or department heads. That doesn't work. So, along ways, as you said, when you look for passionate people to work either with the NGOs or government bodies, this plan or strategy or scheme or program have to be planned with the people. Only when it is planned with the people, along with the people, people will participate. Otherwise, people see it as an outside program. Okay, some program is there. So someone who are connected to the ruling party or the political party will join and take advantage of it. That's all. They work among themselves. They keep working on themselves. Okay, we need to kind of work with the people. Then only passionate people will come. Every person in a village or a slum, every person is a passionate person. How do we tackle his proactive, passionate role? That is a challenge. How do you educate a person? Every person can be educated. We don't have anybody who can be non-literate. But do you give the education he requires? That is a challenge. So to identify passionate people, go to the people, speak to them, talk to them, plan your thing, have a plan with them, have a discussion with them, monitor the situation, evaluate the situation along with the people. Then you will have humpty number of youth coming forward to support. These days we see during COVID pandemic, so many young people coming on the streets to provide food, to support people. When there was a huge flood in Chennai, we saw how youngsters came forward. Again, they will go back because their potentials is not actualized. It is not empowered. So it is only both governments and non-governments, educational institutions, local government bodies have to work together to identify the real volunteers, the people who are committed to the society, and then plan with them, work with them. You plan outside and come in as a program and scheme, then people may not see. Okay. For example, வாழ்ந்து காட்டுவோம். What do people know about வாழ்ந்து காட்டுவோம்? What is the discussion we had with them? Nothing. It is a scheme, and few people are identified and supported. And others are onlookers. They sit on the platform and then they just look on it. That's all. They cannot participate. So we need to kind of involve people in the planning, involve people in the execution of the project. Then we will have more people coming and joining. Proactive people, leaders, children, youth, people are ready to join. So the passionate people will come only when you identify, when you plan, discuss, monitor, evaluate with them of their program, of their schemes and their situation. Thank you.
Mr. Nanjil Arun has posted a question in the chat box, ma.
Yes.
Most crimes, robbery, theft, violence, or drug addiction and school dropouts are mostly in slums. The two is happening more in urban slum than in rural slum.
Okay.
Then they even came on a motorcycle and snatched my mobile phone. How
Okay.
to overcome the stigma?
Okay, fine. Okay, as you said rightly, it's a stigma. Okay. There is a National Crime Record Bureau. Okay. So if any of you are interested, please go and analyze the crime records. Okay. I'm just coming out with a very, very, very strong challenge on the crime record that is being discussed with. Okay. Now, also we know very well how much money from public banks have been looted by slum people. Just make an analysis. Crores and crores and 20,000, 30,000, 15,000 crores are being looted in public banks by slum people. We need to question this. Let us be very scientific because we are all scholars. Let us analyze a crime from economic point of view. So who is causing a loss to the public banks? Is it not corporate people? Is it not educated people who know the law well, who know how to defraud the bank? So let's not blame the slum people who are just looting everything. It's not so. It's not so. You may at the most Some 10, 15, 10 rupees, at the 100 rupees. These are the small things that is even, it is for their livelihood. When somebody loots 20,000 rupees, 20,000 crores and comfortably sits abroad and you take a flight to bring him in, what is happening? So this is, analysis has to be very critical. What is, for example, drug. Who brings in drug to slum? It is imported. It is brought in. So we know. So this has to be very, very critically analyzed. So let us not blame the people who are living in slums saying that they're all criminals. No, that is, as I said, it is a bias. So that bias has to be uncleaned by analysis. You don't need to do anything. Go to the crime bureau records and analyze how much crime is being done over there. Make an analysis. How much rape is being done by some people, or how much you know what is happening in Chennai, what is happening in some schools, or what is happening in other schools. You can just analyze from what is coming out in the newspaper itself. So that bias has to be cleaned. As I said, the positivity has to be looked into. We have to strengthen the social structure, educational structure, economic structure of the people in order to empower them. Okay, let us strengthen the schools in slums. Let us give them the quality education that they look forward. For example, online education. How many slum children, village children can afford to access online education? When we have not sorted out this, in other area is going on digital education. Okay, digital education can be possible in United States of America because every child has access to digital learning and government has ensured, educational departments have ensured. But we have not done it. But without which we are already moving on to digital education, digital learning. How will the children who do not have digital access to go into it? And then they'll be lagging down in education. With all this pandemic happening 2-3 years, and then the children are going to lag down in education. So they cannot be blamed. So we need to have very proactive response to strengthen the educational system, health system, the public development, public works department system, so that they also rise up to the other level. So that is the approach we need to definitely see into. And as I rightly said, it's only a stigma. It is just it's put on them. That's that has to be seen into scientifically, because again and again I'm saying scientific approach has to be gone into when we state something, when we look into it. Thank you.
And Vanitha ma'am has posted a question in the chat box. Why caste battle in Tamil Nadu never ends?
Ma'am, I think we need to have another sitting to discuss on the history of caste, the caste stratification, caste discrimination, and caste issues, ma'am. It is not Tamil Nadu alone, ma'am. It is an Indian situation. I would call it even a global situation. Global situation is a little different, okay? They would call it racism. You go to Italy, you don't see Italy everybody equal. No, they have their own differences. Now, the point is, here in India, the difference, the discrimination, the stratification is being done on caste. However qualified I am, however educated I am, however rich I am, I'm branded with my caste. What is this? What is the narrow, shallow perspective we have been taught into? So I don't. It is not a very appreciative thing. All the educations, all the qualifications have not liberated us from this caste system. Okay, you take any leader. I don't want to name. You know very well. All the leaders who have contributed to the growth of India, to the constitution of India, will be seen from which caste they belong to. What is this? So, this has to be, come out of it. It is not people, as they say, only by removing from the records or removing from the TC things, we need liberation. We need openness. Okay, we need to embrace people as brothers and sisters. We can't say all the people in India are all my brothers and sisters. It's fine. But then what do we do to it? What do we do to it? You go for a marriage, you take matrimony, very, very, very funny matrimonials, each caste is branded with matrimony. What is this? Matrimony is an adult woman and man coming together and married. So where is the question of caste? A person who believes in somebody, who commits himself or herself to somebody, gets married. But how does the caste come into? a person well qualified. Then how is the caste coming through? So we leave out all these things and then see only caste, which caste it belongs to. So that narrow shackle, the very, 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 I don't know what to term. I shouldn't use that. So that thinking has to come out of our mind and heart. Okay, we need to be open. We need to have very clear mind, openness to see goodness in everything, and see the quality of the person. So that I think we need to teach our children from early childhood onwards. This is an educative process. It is not a problem. It has to be children have to be educated. For example, gender discrimination. Why women, girl children are being abused again and again, again and again? It is we are not taught, we are not discussed. We are not discussed this with our men, with our boys. It is not an education. When are we going to bring it as an education? Okay. For example, a small poem, when I was handling a session for Anganwadi teachers way back, there is a small poem in Tamil. Dosai amma dosai, amma sutta dosai. See, amma sutta dosai. Why? Appa sutta dosa varada. Amma sutta dosai. Amma sutta dosai. அப்பாவுக்கு 4, அம்மாவுக்கு 3. அம்மா தோசை சுடுவாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு 3. அப்பா உட்கார்ந்து இருப்பார், அவருக்கு 4. Is it not a gender discrimination? Again, the song goes on. அண்ணனுக்கு 3, அண்ணனுக்கு 2, பாப்பாவுக்கு 1. What is this? Why papa should be given? Why the girl papa should be given 1, and brother should be given 2, and father 4, and a mother who cooks in the morning, cooks in the afternoon, cooks at night, takes care of every family course given 3. Is it not discrimination? Gender discrimination? And this song is being taught in all the Anganwadis in Tamil Nadu. We are all scholars. We don't even analyze this. Such a song which is being instilled in a child at the age of 3, 4, 5. So discrimination or these kind of differences, these kind of paradoxes are taught by the social values educationally. So in order to do away with this, as I said, we need to have interdisciplinary critical thinking. That critical thinking only help children, our future generation, to come out of all this caste discrimination. Otherwise, people think the so-called downtrodden castes, okay, scheduled castes have to be always on the below. They have to clean the street. They have to be on the sanitary workers. Okay, they have to do all the menial jobs. They have to do all the errand jobs. And others, they're supposed to be qualified and go higher. Well, let us analyze what is needed for the society. Accordingly, let us prepare our technicians. Let us create our professionals from all communities. So let us be equal. So let us think about equity. Equity, no, that another topic we have to see. Who needs more has to be given more. Who needs less has to be given less. We cannot see on equal platforms. So these kind of thinking has to go into our education system so that our society, our India becomes equally developed, equally empowered, equally educated with equity. So maybe, ma'am, we need to discuss that in a different platform, I see, because that's a different, very huge area we need to discuss into.
Dr. Veeran, sir, do you have any question to ask, sir? Dr. Veeran?
No, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. No questions.
Okay, sir. Okay. If there are no questions, then we shall close. Amina?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session. Showing gratitude is the best attitude. Now, I would like to call Bhima Bai from First MSW to pose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of on this memorable webinar on Take the Lead When There is Need. On behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Government Arts College from the PG Department of Social Work. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making today's webinar a resounding success. First and foremost, I thank our resource person, Mr. S. Kristuraj sir, who despite of his busy schedule has found time to grace this webinar. Your stimulating speech of how to approach problem through the need and SWOT analysis in the strategy points of fault fire Finally, we understood life in slum is very beautiful, sir. Thank you. I would like to thank our college principal, Dr. R. Sumati ma'am. Next, I would like to thank our social work department HOD, Dr. K. Shamla ma'am. I would also like to thank our faculty coordinators, Shakti ma'am and Jennifer ma'am. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. A. Murugan sir, Sandana Krishnan sir, and Naveen sir from the Department of Computer Science for the technical support. I would like to thank our college teaching staffs and non-teaching staffs from other department. I would like to give a special thanks to all the faculty members from other colleges. I would also like to thank professors and lecturers from other colleges and universities. My heartfelt thanks to alumni of Social Work Department. Last but not least, I would like to thank each and every student from our college and other college for the participation and the wonderful cooperation. Finally, all would like to thank each and every single staff and participants who made this wonderful national
Thank you so much, Vinod. Now, I request all the participants to fill the feedback form. The link has been posted in the chat box. Kindly fill the feedback form so everyone will receive the answer. Thank you. Kindly fill the feedback form. The link has been posted in the chat box.
Thank you, Krishraj sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful speech.
Thank you to all the professors for the organizing team. I'm so grateful for involving to the session. I'm so happy. Hope I make some sense to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Energy.